Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. The market has been looking good over the past week, not only for crypto, but the stock market indices as well, as the DXY US dollar currency index has started to stall out, perhaps showing signs of a short-term reversal, which can be bullish for the stock market and crypto moving into 2022. Tomorrow, the lizards on Wall Street will be taking the day off for the holiday, so it will be 3 straight days for crypto trading alone. And in today's video, I'm going to fill you in on some key dates with a Gematria decode, and of course go over the charts of Bitcoin and XRP. Also a reminder, I'm currently running a holiday sale on both of my courses, so if you're interested, stick around through the intro and I'll share all that information in a moment. So if you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria Numerology and Astrology to understand these markets. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell notification to stay updated on when new videos come out, and make sure to give this video a like and share this channel with other conscious beings to help grow this community. And as you heard earlier, I'm currently running a sale on my courses for the holidays, the Mastermind course and the Advanced Trading course. So for those of you that want to learn how to do technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, there will be a link in the description box of this video and in the pinned comment below to my website, watersabovecrypto.com/redpill2021. And that link already has the discount automatically added to the price, so there's no promo code needed at checkout. All you'll need is the link and you'll be able to get my courses with the holiday discount included. And with that being said, let's take the red pill. So just a quick recap from my last video that I released some days back. We're just going to recap everything that we were discussing in regards to the Federal Reserve System. It's a very important date connection that we made, and it was from the start of Rosh Hashanah on September 6th through today, which is the 23rd of December 2021, this being the actual 108th anniversary of the Federal Reserve System. You could see that right here. Established December 23rd, 1913, 108 days ago. And this date connection was very significant because it's coming back to the 108 days since the start of the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Now, this 108 represents spiritual completion, and today is also the last day of Saturnalia before we transition into Christmas Eve. So Saturnalia being that holiday that we've been discussing in a lot of my videos, and this being the 21 year in the 21st century, and of course this number 21 coming back to Saturn. And this was a massive connection because Saturn is Satoshi Nakamoto, and we had an incredible year for cryptocurrency across the board. Of course, this connection here has been brought up in many of my videos, so just wanted to bring that one up for anyone who's new here. And we have another 21 connection that I'm going to break down in a moment. So anyways, now that we've transitioned into this date, and we have tomorrow being significant because it is Christmas Eve, and the same thing over again. If you consider the start of Rosh Hashanah, which was the 7th of September, this being the start of Shemitah, the sabbatical year, again, the Sabbath coming back to Saturn, and this day of Christmas Eve, again, we have 108 days. And I was bringing this up in my last video, so again, just a quick recap for anyone who's new here. Tomorrow's date numerology is the 77, if you add up 12 plus 24 plus 20 plus 21. This is the way that I like to do my date numerology, and then as well, you have 7 days left in the year, perceived as 777. And this connection going back to Shemitah, which is the 7-year cycle. And of course, Rosh Hashanah this year was on the 7th day of September. So it's a very interesting connection, but let's break down a couple more things. So we have this day being 3 months and 17 days, and 317. Let's go right here and show you. It will be the 66th prime number. So the 66 connection is something that we've been talking about quite a bit, but I want to break that all down for you. So again, from Rosh Hashanah to tomorrow being 3 months and 17 days, 317 being the 66th prime number. And I want to show you one thing about Bitcoin that's so special. We have 21 million, which is the Bitcoin supply. Total supply, 21 million Bitcoins. And what this gives us is 66 in Chaldean. Of course it does. And I'm going to show you all of the breakdown of this number. So again, 21 million Bitcoins, 21 million in Gematria, giving us 66 in Chaldean, the most pure cipher. And this number is actually associated with a lot of other cryptos. And this 66 or 6 sixes, you can also perceive it as 6 times 6 or 6 plus 6 plus 6 carried over 6 times, giving you 36. Sorry to make that a little complicated, but you're going to see why that's important. So again, 66 perceived as 6 sixes, giving you that 36, and that 36 number comes back to a ton of cryptocurrencies. We have, of course, Bitcoin with the 36. We have Ethereum with the 36 in Chaldean, most pure cipher. Then, of course, we have another crowd favorite, Dogecoin, giving us the 36. We also have Algorand giving us that 36. Again, we have Polkadot giving us that 36. It's endless. There's so many cryptocurrencies that come back to this 36 number. And how do we perceive this number 36? Well, we perceive it as 3 sixes or 666. And this is considered the number of the beast. And I'll just show you how coded this all is. Number of the beast, giving us that 66 in full reduction, which is one of my favorite ciphers that I like to use. But it's not actually the number of the beast. 666 is not the number of the beast. 666 has to deal with carbon. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That's carbon. Okay? Carbon-based life forms. So carbon is what we are. We are carbon man. And I'll just keep going, showing you the code. Carbon man, giving us 36. That is what we are. And what is so incredible about this as well, and of course this is a little bit of a science fact, so take science with a grain of salt, of course, because a majority of it is a psyop. But according to science, our body, the human body, is 18% carbon. How crazy is that? Because what is 18? 6 plus 6 plus 6. So anyways, the number of the beast correlates with the mark of the beast, and the mark of the beast, some will say, is that chip, giving us that 36. And this has to deal with the United Nations because this is all part of the transhumanist agenda. So I'll show you by the code, giving us, transhumanist agenda, giving us that 63, again, as above, so below. That's the mirror of 36. And this is all part of Agenda 2030. Okay? So Agenda 2030, really important that you guys study this because, again, we have that 36 right there. And this is all part of the United Nations. And another key fact about next year that's really interesting, because I've been giving you guys so much data into the importance of next year because it is the Hebrew year of 5,782, which is reduced to 22 in the Gregorian year of 22. So again, this next year on October 24th of 2022 will be the 77th anniversary of the United Nations, okay? So this is amazing how this 77 ties back into tomorrow's date numerology, and of course 7 days left. And it was amazing on this decode that I was doing because I started to, really fractal it out in all these ways. But I wanted to teach you guys about that number 36 because it's a powerful number, and it's, again, Agenda 2030, we're seeing it right there. That's what this is all about, guys. This whole C-word agenda, this new variant, all the lockdowns, mandates, it's all about transhumanism. That's what blockchain is about, all of it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to wake up to this because this is just the starting point. If you think this is dark, it gets way darker. So the point of my work is to teach you guys how to decode and to teach you guys technical analysis so that we can get an edge on the market. We could be able to invest in projects that have alpha, upside, lots of ROI, but also that are undervalued and getting ready for, massive gains. And when we get these profits, however they come, whether it's through spiritual growth, financial growth, conscious growth, whatever it is, because again, you need to manifest abundance, and that doesn't start with money. That starts with the mindset. And I could talk more about that stuff if you guys like that sort of, talking about manifestation and talking about the power of the mind, because that's really where it all is. Those are the people that got shaken out over the past month, and panic sold. Again, this isn't to disrespect them, but it's just to say this is what the New World Order does to people. It gets people scared. It gets people in their emotions. And this is how they trap you in the blockchain. This is how they get you chained up to the block, okay? And you don't want that happening to you. You want to be a free man, okay? And in order to become free, you need to seek freedom, not seek wealth. So what they've done with this cryptocurrency thing is they've sold humanity on this idea that you could get rich from it. But everything comes at a cost, okay? Watch the Netflix documentary, I called it a documentary because it almost is, but I was going to say Squid Game. And this will start to show you how all of the things are operating. I actually haven't watched it personally. I've had people explain it enough to me to the point where I already knew what it was about. It's all the symbology and everything that I'm interested in. So, but check out those sorts of, productions, because you're going to start to see a lot of the secrets revealed, things that I've known for years, but it's all pointing to Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. And that concept is going to really blow people's minds once they start to accept that that is the inevitable. All right. Having an AI-based world that runs on blockchain, and it will not be a company like Ripple that will set you free. It will not be a company like Chainlink. It will be none of that stuff, okay? All of that is a psyop to get people excited and make people happy about something that is quite dark. So that's my red pill of the day for everyone. Go study Agenda 2030 and learn about why these mandates and lockdowns and everything are happening right now, because we are transitioning into a very, very interesting time in our world. And those of you that are awake, the chosen ones, are aware of what I'm saying, and then you can start to protect people around you, hopefully in your community, throughout this information. So let's keep going on this decode. There's probably some more things that I could break down. So just a quick recap. We have tomorrow, again, being the 77 date numerology, 7 days left in the year, all coming back to 777. And this being the 108 days since the start of Shemitah, and the number 108, we could actually perceive it with the rules of numerology as 18, and that 18 comes back to Shemitah. And you could see that right there in Chaldean, the most pure cipher. And tomorrow will also be a Friday, which is Viernes, the day of Venus. And again, Venus giving us that 18 in the full reduction cipher. And this will lead us to Christmas Day. Christmas Day is special because it is the 359th day of the year. 359 is the 72nd prime number. Again, I could show you that right here. You could see 359 giving us 72, and 72, of course, coming back to Bitcoin in the English ordinal. All right, it comes back to a ton of other cryptos as well. But this 72 coming back to Bitcoin, the artificial sun, and this is a Saturday, the day of Christmas, okay? December 25th, you could see it right there, Sat, which is the name of the smallest increment of Bitcoin, Sats, Satoshi, Saturn. Okay, so December 25th, it is on a Saturday or Saturn day, which is the day of Saturn, and Satoshi is Saturn. Okay, Satoshi Nakamoto is Saturn. So anyways, I wonder if, our good old friend Santa Claus Schwab will be bringing us any gifts this year. The gifts of Baal. Moloch would be proud. Again, Moloch giving us that 66. 21 million. 66. Let's get to this technical analysis, shall we? So we have had multiple daily closes now, stalling out at this 49,000 area. If you guys remember my last video, I was describing to you how I would like to see some, maybe 4 hour, 6 hour, 8 hour closures above 49,400, and that would solidify continuation. And you can see that we pretty much stalled out at those exact highs that I was revealing, the highs coming back to December 15th. That's completely all right. It's nice to build some structure. And once we start actually getting above this 49,000, even a daily close tonight above 49K would be solid for continuation. So you can see the daily close resistance is somewhere around 48,800 something, and that goes back to these daily closes as well. So all in all, this is a very key level, and 50K being a psychological resistance, this is telling me that, you know, we're pretty much going to be dealing with these levels until there's some resolution, and it's hard to have resolution when volume is so low. So as we're moving into this holiday time, the volume is most likely going to be low, and that's just something we have to deal with, but that's completely fine. We could also see bullish breakouts with low volume. It's especially while Bitcoin is so low supply. Bitcoin, about 90% of its supply is taken up, and a lot of the Bitcoins are leaving exchanges. Again, leaving and open interest is increasing, so it's making traders get, start salivating. You guys know how this game gets sometimes. So with those 3 days off starting tomorrow, 3 days of crypto trading alone, I suspect that we might get resolution over this holiday, and I don't necessarily want that to happen, but the market doesn't give me what I want. So a couple things to mention. Closes above that 49K would be good, but what we really want to see is daily closes above the 21 exponential moving average, which is sitting right now around the 49,500 area. And daily closes above the 21 is typical for bullish continuation, but one thing to consider is on this daily chart, we have our EMAs in a bearish posture. So that means the 34 is above the 21, above the 13. We would like to see that flipped. And the way that I start getting excited is not only daily closes above the 21, but I want to see all of these key EMAs coiling up together. And then, of course, we have our 55 simple moving average sitting somewhere around 56K. That's a little bit of like a crystal ball of where will our next resistance be if we are to have a bullish breakout. It'd probably be somewhere leading into that 55, 56,000. And then on the downside, we do have to consider this 8 simple moving average coiled up with the 200 simple moving average, and that's putting us somewhere around that 47 downwards. Yeah, let's just call it 47K. So structurally, I would like to maintain daily closes above 47K because that was the last closure lows, and that would really, maintain us. If we start to see closures above 48,000 on like 4-hour or 6-hour time frames, I do suspect we're going to start coming back to retest this 47K area, perhaps even 46,500 on a wick. And then we really need to start paying attention in that case if we start to go below those levels. On the upside, it's clear as day. We have the 21 exponential with the 200 exponential sitting slightly below 50K. So in the event that we actually start approaching 50K, we might start breaking out bullishly straight to 52, 53, 54 pretty quickly, just because this basing structure has been going on for an average amount of time for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's basing structure likes to be about 2 weeks. We're approaching 3 weeks now. Of course, we saw back on the back-to-back eclipses going back in May and June. When we had those back-to-back eclipses after that larger dump, we went sideways for a pretty long time. And then we had this fake out right here. So let me turn off everything and just show you what I'm talking about. So if we are repeating this similar fractal structure, which the only reason we could possibly say that would make sense is because we have somewhat of a crown top distribution followed by a major sell-off that led to back-to-back eclipses. Again, we have a crown top distribution, multiple sell-offs. We have a big sell-off just like we did on May 19th. Okay, big sell-off on the eclipse, and then we've started to enter a downtrend, and then this was a bull trap fake out. So if we're gonna have something akin to this, we definitely need to be paying attention. So I'm just saying, I don't want anyone to get excited just yet, especially while volume in this market is extremely low. What would make me excited is when we start to approach, like, honestly, 63, 64, and until then, we're just trapped. And it's pretty normal to have what would be called like a bull trap, which would be, I'll show you. If we pull our fibs from this high right here down to the swing low of this wick, I know this is hard to see, but we could see right here, this is the 618, upwards of 786. Bitcoin can go all the way up into those levels. A textbook dead cat bounce would be somewhere around 56,000. And why would that make so much sense? Because if you look at this trading area back here, this is where we were struggling to hold before the larger breakdown. Okay, so I could show you another dead cat bounce scenario. Actually, if I was to look at another chart, this might be helpful for some people. So you can see that once we had our low here, once we started to break our lows in the structure, what I did was I pulled a fib in reverse. Oh, sorry, never mind. I pulled the fib from that high right there on that break. So we had our higher low, then we had our all-time high, then right when we started to break those lows, that was a sign that it's probably going to have a correction. So I pulled my fib from this level right here down to the massive liquidation candle. And you can see since we've held support on the 236, which is very healthy, now we're seeming to want to recover the 382. Anything above the 0.5 fib is when we start looking for a dead cat bounce scenario, which means potential move up into the golden pocket, then potential rejection out of the golden pocket. And then once you make lows right here in the structure, this is where you start to worry. Okay, because there's our structure lows. If we were to have a move up followed by rejection and then lower lows, I would suspect this wick right here wasn't necessarily for a wick fill. It was because this was a actual distributionary event. So all in all, I'm just letting you guys know the play. I've already shared to you the 44K, 43K target. If we're going to see Bitcoin go down there, it has to be a short visit. It can't be like weeks trading at 43, 42. Otherwise, we're going to start to see altcoins and pretty much the whole crypto market start to collapse. I would like to be more bullish, but when we have these dead cat bounce scenarios that go like that, it's not good. It would almost be better to fall down in the short term than to go up to 55, 58, and then come back down again. Okay, that's kind of what I'm trying to say here. So we can call this the low. Then we could call this the higher low, but we really need to start breaking into those 60s again. We've seen Bitcoin and crypto before have really exaggerated bounce levels. So what I mean by that is if we were to pull a fib all the way from the highs down to the swing low and see Bitcoin make it all the way to the 888 followed by rejection, we've actually seen that happen before with altcoins. It is really a horrible trap. So for those people out there that are unskilled traders and you're trying to play around with leverage right now, be careful because this is not the environment to do it in, especially over a holiday weekend, especially as we're transitioning into the new year. Just sharing words of wisdom with you. So one other thing to consider, we have a 3-day close coming in tonight. This 3-day close would be great, especially if we can get it above these levels right here, about 50,500. Let me pull up some of the moving averages and see what else is going on. So we do have a wolf cross, which is the 8 and the 55. Let me turn off these drawings. Okay, so you can see right here, we have a wolf cross with downside implied, but they just crossed, so that's not a huge deal. If we can actually start trading above those 50s, that'd be great. But getting above 50K by the end of the day, that's going to take some juice from Bitcoin. We would have to go up an additional 3 to 4%. With CME, Chicago Mercantile Exchange, we could push up there, so it's fine. But I just wanted to bring up this chart because we do have the close today. Getting above that 50 level would be great, but we see there's going to be probably resistance around this 53, 52K level. Again, let me show you another thing. So we have here is the highs of Rosh Hashanah around 53. Then here we have the attempted support before the breakdown. Then here we have some of the trading sideways before continuation to the upside. This is telling me that this whole area of like 53 to 56 is going to be awkward. That whole area right there is going to be a little bit weird. So in the event that Bitcoin just breaks out bullish tomorrow and wants to really move up, you know, I'm definitely going to be paying attention. To what's happening because at that time, I would start to get a little bit, cautious. Altcoins can do incredible, by the way, with Bitcoin moving up into 60K, especially if we start to see Bitcoin dominance break below 40%. So rewind the last 10 seconds of what I said and take note of that. For any of you out there that are concerned about the idea of an alt season, and a potential end of a bull run scenario. In my opinion, it would actually just be best for Bitcoin to stay sideways for the next couple weeks, really build out a base here, just like we did back here, and then have an actual continuation breakout into like the month of March or April. It would be really healthy for Bitcoin to just build strength and then finally break through these levels once and for all, because it's been really struggling at this 60K level, and I do not want to see it fail a 60K rally again. That would be horrible, and that would really show signs of weakness for the whole crypto market. There's no exuberant push up for ETH or Bitcoin at this time. So this is all showing me signs of this market needs to stall out, go sideways, possibly have some liquidation events along the way, shake out traders. But ultimately what would be best is to not have these crazy just straight line breakouts anymore. That kind of shit is what signals to me that the run is near its finality. And because we didn't get the run that we were anticipating moving into January, that's completely fine. We might have that 1987 stock market that I've exposed before, where I was talking about the 1987 S&P 500 before we had the huge crash called Black Monday, which would be akin to having a crash, next year. And that's totally normal because I've exposed this before, that most Shemitah years that we have, the market makes its biggest corrections when Shemitah is over, okay? Not necessarily during Shemitah. So we've seen during the sabbatical year, we do have corrections, but they're not crashes that end the run. Typically, our biggest crashes are not in Shemitah. It is slightly after it finishes, okay? So take note of what I just said. That's really important. And I've been telling a lot of people that if you look historically at the market as a whole, we've yet to really see big market crashes in January, and all of the market crashes or big corrections we've had in February were late February. So this kind of tells me that we have till late February to see some continuation, and we could have a literal repeat of 2021 where Bitcoin starts to break out into the new year, maybe by mid-January, late January, and then gets pushed all the way to another distributional top somewhere around April. That would bring the craziest gains to altcoins. If we can bore out the retail market for an extra 2 months, that I promise you guys will be so bullish. It will create massive ROI for this crypto market. Again, the most bullish scenario and the healthiest scenario would be sideways for a couple more weeks, building support, then eventually boring out as much retail as possible, followed by Bitcoin breakout, followed by alt season. And I really suspect that that's a possibility moving into Q2, like that March, that April, kind of May. But May is where I see the bigger issues coming in. And I'll break that down as we get closer to that. I don't want to jump too ahead of myself. I have so much to share with everyone in regards to some key dates that I found. But anyways, in the short term, definitely if we can see Bitcoin recover above this 21 and 200 exponential moving average, around 50,000 on the daily close, that will signal that we're probably moving up in the short term. Again, downside targets would naturally be somewhere around 47,200 to 47,400, which is these two key moving averages, the 8 simple and the 200 simple. And then after that, if we can't hold those levels, a swipe down into 45. If we cannot keep 4-hour closes above 46,500, I would like to say. If we can't hold 46,500 on 4 hours, 6 hour, 8 hour closures, I would anticipate moving down to 43, 44. And that would be better to happen sooner than later, meaning it would be better to have it happen tomorrow than to have it happen after Bitcoin hits 60K. Because once it goes up that high and then comes back to 43, that would be a huge warning. Okay, so I'm letting you know all the scenarios as we have the holiday, because this is a really ritual time of year, and I just want you guys to be completely aware of all the possibilities. Most likely volume will be low, and that means we're just going to slightly trend up or just build sideways boring support. That's most likely what's going to happen over the next 3 to 4 days. So Just keep those price levels in mind. First short-term resistance will be around 51,400 on the upside. Let's check out XRP, because I did bring up the possibility of that 108 XRP in my last video. Again, that was kind of just in line with the 108th anniversary of the Federal Reserve System and the fact that it has been 108 days since Rosh Hashanah. And it was hilarious how we saw XRP break out to 101 on this day. It's actually been playing a really solid recovery off the base lows. We're looking at about 30-something%. So let's look at where we're getting obvious resistance. It's at the 55 simple moving average. Just like I told you, we should anticipate with Bitcoin on a breakout. So when Bitcoin breaks out, we have that 55 simple around like 56,000, and it should probably hit there if it's going to have a straight, like more of a really fast bullish breakout. That's typically the level where you get rejected, and that's exactly what's happening with XRP. You can see it getting rejected at those levels. Now, if we get to 108 tonight by the daily close moving in tomorrow, that would blow my mind. Like, that wasn't me giving a call out. That was just me using the code and having fun. But that would literally blow my mind if that happened. It would prove, like, beyond any doubt, Gematria is the truth. So what we're seeing here is we actually did stop out on December 21st around the 200 simple moving average. Yesterday, we got sandwiched in between the 200 exponential, 200 simple. Today, we're seeming to recover over that. If we can get a daily close above the 96-cent level, that would be incredible. But ultimately, we can't really anticipate much more continuation until we get above that 55. Then we would be above all key moving averages, and the next thing we would look for is our fibs. So we have a fib coming in at the 382 at 106. And let me show you something else. So we have this downsloping trend line or falling trend line going back to the current yearly highs of 198 down through this fake out on Rosh Hashanah, another fake out area right here around November. You can see we traded slightly above it for a moment, but that was just a fake out because we went up sharply into it, then a big rejection. So a bull trap. And this trend line now is intersecting around that 382. This trend line has also been, so if we take how long it's been a resistance, we're looking at 200 plus days, like we're coming up on a year. Now this is log, so this might look a little awkward if you look at the resistance line now, but this support line on linear is clear as day, perfect. We have coming back to the SEC crash, the retest on the July full moon, retests after the recent dump. I mean, the liquidation candle went below it, but look at all those daily closes. I mean, that's a clear trend line support. So if Bitcoin's going to have that correction down to like, 44K, 43, XRP can still hold this 80-cent level. Wicks below it are wicks. They don't matter. It's all about the closures. So, I mean, this is pretty interesting trend lines that I have going here. And I'm not considering this a huge triangle. I mean, it is a massive symmetrical triangle if you wanted to consider that. We're looking at, the apex around March 10th. If that was to be a thing, it's hard to tell. I don't really like using these sorts of things for those calls, but just letting you know, this trend line correlating with the 382 and below the 0.5, it's telling me this is pretty much the time you would anticipate a bullish continuation. The reason, you have this distributionary event followed by a selling climax. You have a clean automatic rally. I'm going over Wyckoff method, by the way. Then after this, you have your fake out, then a larger dump, which just gets bought back up. So this moment right here of being supported by the 236 fib is very healthy. Once you start to recover and get above those highs right there of $1.44, this thing can start moving up in a straight line. And that's all technical. That has nothing to do with, any airdrops or none of that. None of that really, really matters. A lot of people are speculating that the reason the XRP price is moving up today is because of the airdrop that's coming in for, was it Solo? That might be a part of it, but I honestly think it would be much more bullish than this if it was because of an airdrop. Like, we're talking about this, and that's tomorrow, I believe. And another thing is Uphold is supporting it. So for those of you that are in the United States that keep your XRP on Uphold, that would be great. I mean, you're basically getting free tokens. What I'm saying right now isn't negative about this airdrop. Like, I'm not being negative at all. I'm just letting you know I've seen a lot of airdrops happen, and it's like straight line breakouts to that day, like this kind of stuff, okay? It's very exuberant, followed by huge sell-offs. So in the event that this is all that it's about, I have a hard time believing that, because this move that we've seen is very normal with this stage of the market, and a lot of other cryptos have made similar structure to this. Okay, this isn't like necessarily an isolated event. So I'm just giving some, words out there for those people that think this is happening for like some quote unquote reason that has to deal with news or fundamentals or any of that. No. Has to deal with, it's always about Gematria Numerology Astrology. Like, the setup is clear as day. All right. So don't get too caught up in like all the nonsense. All right. Tomorrow we're moving into the 14-day numerology. XRP equals 14. All right. And 15 would be the following day, which is Christmas Day. All right. That 15 is huge. All right. So again, 15 in Chaldean on XRP. Don't get too caught up in all this stuff, man. Yesterday was the 22nd. Today is the 23rd of the 12th month. 22, 23. We know where we've seen that. I'm just saying this because I don't want people getting so caught up in this news stuff. All right. All this fundamental stuff, because it works until you see the code be blow you away. Like some people that have been following my work for a while, you've seen how insane this code works. The drop down to 51 cents, the rejection over here at $1.40. We called that the whole way. It's insane. Drop down to 86. Again, like this moment right here, anomaly. It was amazing. And it was also amazing to see it hold that 76 cents the whole time. It was only that liquidation event that went that low, but for a majority of the time, we're sitting at 66, 67, and that 67 is coming back to Ripple, 76, excuse me. And XRP was holding that 76 cents for all the closes before that breakout. So the code works, man. It's really mind-blowing stuff. You just need to do it for enough time to really see what's going on. So let's look at the 3-day. 3-day, again, 55 simple, smacking us down. If we can get this closure tonight above $1 on this 3-day close, that would be incredible. This would look like a nice recovery. So again, that would be above all the key moving averages. So keep that in mind tonight for the daily close. If we can get above $1, $1, what would really be great is $1.03. But $1 or more on this 3-day close, really nice, above all key moving averages on the 3-day chart. And then again, we could see that the MACD on the 3-day has absolutely bottomed out and it is chugging to the upside. 2-day MACD has had multiple closures now. Clean bull cross. This is one of the big indicators that I look for, okay? When I start to see close to oversold RSI on the MACD for XRP, followed by a bullish cross on RSI, excuse me. When we start to see around like 33, 34 RSI on the 2-day chart, followed by a 2-day bullish MACD cross, I get ready for a pump. All right. And we know on the daily chart, it's about 85 RSI where XRP likes to move to. You could see that right here. So we have 85 right there at that level, going back to the automatic rally on August 15th. And then you have these pumps right here, which led into the yearly highs. That 85 level is really textbook. Even back here, we made it to 90, but above 85, we're talking about a straight line. This was the fake out, which led to the SEC dump. So if we're going to keep moving up straight, you definitely want to be cautious for those leverage traders out there. Like, don't get caught up on being greedy when you start seeing XRP move up, because it moves up very fast and it tends to have these pump and dump cycles like I've exposed. You can see them time and time again. These Bart Simpson heads. All right. So you don't want to be caught up in those, especially for people that have been holding this coin forever and they've never de-risked it. The people who've been holding it for a long time and they've never taken out even their initial investment. Don't sleep on this opportunity if you get them, because I remember I bought most of my XRP below 20 cents. My average investment in it, I believe, is 18 cents. I de-risked it all above 140 into 186, and the whole time people were clowning on me, calling me names, saying I'm an idiot, this thing's going to $5, and it didn't, and we called the dump too. in regards to the lows at 51 cents. So I'm just saying, like, you need to do what is best for you. Don't let other people influence you. Don't let any YouTubers influence you. Learn the technical analysis, learn the code, and apply it to your own investment thesis. That has always been what I've wanted to do in this world, is to make a YouTube channel that is revolving around teaching people a skill, not having people following callouts, okay? Because that doesn't do anything for you. All right. For those people that have been in the market for multiple years, you're pretty much in profit on everything. And in some coins, you're at 15, 20x. So you need to do what fits your own investment thesis. If you're somebody who has $200 and you're just getting into this market, you really, really need to spend more time learning a skill and less time gambling that $200 away. Because as quickly as you made that money is as quickly as you can lose it. And that's very disappointing. What's beautiful about crypto being such a nascent asset class is you're able to put a little bit in, be patient, just chill out, and then eventually reap the rewards of an alpha that is infinite. Unlike some other things going on in the stock market, which essentially have a ceiling on them, their price discovery mechanism has been severed. And it's because they've already done crazy moves in the market, So of course there's outliers like Tesla. But what's crazy about the dump of COVID, I shouldn't have said that, the C word. This dump right here was almost akin to the dot-com bubble crash in what it generated, but the amount of time it generated these gains was absolutely mind-blowing. So we just need to be considerate right now that we're in the transition into a new year. This new year is during Shemitah. All things go. And I just really want people to be safe. I want people to spend more time learning a skill and less time following people. Follow people that are teaching you something and that are actually helping you increase your knowledge consciously, spiritually, etc. Other than that, it's just face thumbnails and hype. So anyways, downside targets for XRP, if we start to close below that 94-cent level on the daily, I would anticipate we would get supported by the 21, which is around 90 cents, 89 cents, and then a retest of 85 cents. And that would take Bitcoin going back down to like 45. If Bitcoin was to roll over, go back down to 45, I would anticipate XRP will return back to 85 cents. And then this cluster right here around 80 is probably going to be a strong support. But upside targets, we're looking for closures above $1. And that would also be in correlation with the 3-day analysis I just shared with you. And that's putting us somewhere around, a move up to 106, upwards of 110 on this downsloping resistance line. A break of this, and this thing can move straight to the 0.5 fib. So one thing at a time. This recovery is pretty V-shaped like, and that could be a trap. So I'm just letting people know, be cautious right now. Be happy if if we see these things moving up, but don't just jump into trades for no reason. Definitely be cautious out there. So again, I appreciate everyone. Long video today, but I know I'm going to be taking a bunch of days off. Let this market play itself out during the holidays. Of course, over the weekend, I have my Red Pill episode coming out. I might do a live stream tonight. I'm not sure, but we'll see what's going on with that. If you guys want a live stream, let me know in the comments below. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day in the Matrix. Much love.